Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Kind of Chatter TV. I'm G Talks Arsenal, your host for tonight's show, which is obviously the lock-in, 9 p.m. Well, I say 9 p.m. start. Well, I say that, but Lottie was running over with the ladies' show, so made us late. You know what I'm saying? So, so we're not exactly on time. No fault of our own, but it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, as you can see, I'm here joined with Bobby Brown, obviously another Canon Chatter member. How you doing, Bobby?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed. It's been a good week, working hard. Just dropped my missus off to work, so quiet down the house. Now ready to talk Arsenal. Yeah, I can't wait.
Wicked. And obviously tonight we've got obviously a jam-packed show. So we didn't actually do a review of the West Ham game. Obviously the 2-1 victory at the weekend. So we'll briefly touch upon that. Obviously, before we get started, we'll run through some transfer links, obviously notably Moussa Diaby, who's been linked most recently with the Arsenal, as well as a left-back who plays his football in Italy for Bologna, and that's Aaron Hickey. So they're the two main transfer targets or rumours that we're going to be covering, as well as obviously looking ahead to what is another cup final game this Sunday against Leeds. So before we get into it, we'll run the intro video and we'll see you on the other side.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing. The first time it's happened.
Yes. So like I said, good evening again and welcome back to Canon Chatter TV. We're here for the regular show, which is the lock-in, where we're basically going to be previewing the Leeds game at the weekend, but also obviously just chatting all things Arsenal. As you can see, I'm here with Bobby, becoming a bit of a regular thing, me and him on the screen. But yeah, we're literally going to get into it. Obviously, thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Please do obviously leave your comments in the chat. We'll get around to them as soon as we can. Please do like the video. Please do, if for whatever reason you're not subscribing to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. So yeah, where do we start? Well, you know what? I think let's talk a little bit about last night's game. It's not Arsenal related, but boy, was it a game. Madrid versus City. I'm not sure if you watched the game, Bobby. I've thrown a little bit of a curveball at you. But I know you've either watched it or you've caught up in the highlights. I know you love your football, so I know it's not a problem. First of all, what did you make of, obviously, the game, given the fact that, obviously, City, had it in their grasp, albeit 2 to 5 minutes left of the game. So what's your thoughts on, obviously, the result, Madrid, City, the performance, but also your kind of opinion of Pep as a manager at Man City?
Well, to start off with, for me, these tournaments start from when the group stages are over. So generally, I don't miss a game from the knockout stages, from the 16th round all the way through to the semi-finals. The quality, the level of football that you watch is top tier. You got to think that the first round for Real Madrid was against PSG. So what a good start to the knockout stages that was. I don't miss those games, to be honest. But yeah, that game last night, wow. All I could say was wow after wow after wow after wow.
That's what you put in the group chat. Wow.
that game was amazing. That game is what Champions League football is and what should be all about. I mean, I won't go too much into the game because obviously we're here to talk about Arsenal, but I think me saying wow pretty much sums it up. It pretty much had everything, didn't it? When you think that Man City have pretty much secured it, because I thought the game was over. So when Mahrez scored, I thought that was it. Game done. And then obviously Grealish had the chance to. He was inches away twice from putting it to bed. Then, for Rodrigo to come in and do what he did was just, it was fantastic for the kid. You know what I mean? And then, what was Diaz doing? Didn't rate that, giving away a penalty. Yeah, he's had so much plaudits in the media. Any other player does that in the Champions League semi-final, you'd see a lot more stick in the media, wouldn't you? You know,
roasted.
He kind of showed his age, didn't he? Really, he's 24-year-old.
Yeah.
Season last year, but when it really mattered, he failed. Yeah. So, and then we'll get over to my opinion on Pep. I respect his way, the way he plays football and stuff. But I grew up in the Cruyff era, and I know that Pep is basically one of Cruyff's pupils. So I've seen his brand of football before, so I'm not impressed by his brand of football.
I hear you.
And what he's done at Manchester City, for me, I don't think he's done anything more amazing than what Mancini did or what the Chilean guy did. Afterwards, he's won a couple of leagues. Their greatest team for me was the one that had Company, Yaya Toure, and Silva.
Yeah,
that was the team I got the most joy out of watching. This team kind of bore me at times because I think they could do so much more, but just passing teams to death just gets a bit boring at times. Then I'll get over to Pep. He keeps failing at this stage, doesn't he? With all the teams that he's not only is he bought, but he's acquired. Because you got to remember when he was at Barcelona, he acquired Messi, Iniesta, and Xavi.
Yeah.
He added to that. When you're at Barcelona sells itself, so you don't have to go out and really get players. Players will want to come. So. All the best players in Spain would have come to Barcelona. So that's why you got Dani Alves, Henry, David Villa, Pedro, all the greats in they either go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. So, yeah, what he did in Barcelona was amazing, but it was driven by some absolutely fantastic, legendary players. Then we get to Bayern Munich, where he took over a team that had just won the treble, that just won the domestic double and the Champions League. He had them for 4 years and didn't get past the quarterfinals. And he had a team with Lewandowski, Muller. He also added Xabi Alonso to that. So he had a very, very good team. But he didn't do it. He did in Germany what Bayern do every year. Win all the cups and all the leagues.
Yeah.
Then he come to Manchester City, didn't win anything. If you remember rightly, Leicester won the league his first season.
Yeah.
What GOAT manager allows that to happen? I'm not gonna totally slag Pep up because I enjoy him, and he has done well.
Yeah.
I just think he's given a lot of plaudits and praise. When he spends a lot of money, when you think about it, he's wasted 400 million because 400 million of the players that he's bought, he don't play for him anymore at Man City because they weren't good enough.
Yeah,
he buys centre halves like they're going out of fashion. He buys wingers like they're going out of fashion. Something's gonna go right, isn't there? But what that showed for me in that game yesterday was that he got outschooled by a better manager. Tactically, he didn't know what to do when it actually mattered. Because for me, he got it wrong. I think ball carriers should have started that game because that way he could have played. He could have implemented his style more. His style. I don't think Jesus was right for that game. I think he needed to have Sterling and
I remember you saying that.
Sterling, Foden, and Grealish that would ball carry, that would attract two players, that would create space for others. Jesus, because he scored a few goals recently, I think that's probably why he got the nod. But for me, he just totally got it wrong. Even though he was a whisker away from going through with Grealish's chances, there's no coincidence that it keeps on happening to him at this stage. There's no coincidence that Manchester City actually got him to win the Champions League, and he keeps failing in Europe. Winning a domestic title when you've got the best squad, and 50% of your games are against teams that can't cope with your financial muscle, let alone the what you've got on the pitch, is a lot easier than when you get to crunch time in these big cup competitions against the top and the best teams in Europe, and he's shown to fail again. So for me, I don't think he's a GOAT manager. I think Klopp. I think if you'd have given Unai Emery that Man City group, he'd have probably won the Champions League back to back. He probably won it 3 times. I hear you. Because tactically, if you look what he's done with Villarreal, look what he's done with Seville. Look what he did with Villarreal last year when the Europa. Then he's got them to the, tactically, a cup, to win a cup is totally different to winning a league. You only have to win a tie over 2 legs, then go on to the next one. It's a battle of wits, isn't it? With especially these managers, these young tactical managers now. So for me, he got it wrong, and for me, he's showed time and time again that he's not the GOAT that everybody says he is. And if he was, he'd have won a Champions League without Messi.
Yeah, 100. It's funny because I watched the game, and I'm not going to go, too much into it because I kind of echo everything you said. But I kind of joked and put out a tweet and said, I don't care what anyone says, but Mr. Pep, he's on fraud watch for me. Yeah. He's on big time fraud watch. And I kind of joked when I said it, but at the same time, I was trying to wind up a couple of City fans as well. But I think the pain of last night was too much because no one bit. I had more Arsenal fans arguing with me than I did City fans, which wasn't the point. But I think us Arsenal fans will argue over anything, to be honest.
You're right there.
But yeah, we'll head to the comments and then we'll obviously, do what we're here to do, which is talk Arsenal. But yeah, thank you for everyone for tuning in. We've got Robert here. Robert, you've been on the channel before, but it's been a while, so welcome back. Good morning. I'm guessing where you are, it's morning. Stu here. Good evening, Stu. Good evening, folks. How are we doing? I'm all good. Bobby's all good. Always blaming someone else, G. Is that me? I'm always blaming. Listen, we were late because Lottie was on her show past the watershed. Yeah, that's the reason why we were late. So I have to blame Lottie because technically it was her fault. Robert here. Pep, the Con, Carlo, the Don. Robert again, this one was on the players, but failed at buying also in the Champions League. Lottie here saying, yes, boys. Saying, Robbie, you jumped on. And saying to Stu that you missed the show. Naughty, naughty Stu. Robert again, just giving a wink or a smiley from what I can see. Scott, yes, big up, Scott. You know what? I actually tried to tune into your show, Scott, earlier, and I couldn't because I had an unscheduled work call. But I'm due to catch up with that because I know you were covering the kind of Manchester City performance last night and obviously a discussion around Pep and his legacy at City. So I'm due to catch up with that show. So thank you for tuning in, Scott. Stu here at Lottie. Sorry, been working late. I'll be going to catch up though. Scott saying United couldn't do it with PSG's stacked squad though. No certainties in the Champions League. Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, really good point there. Scott also, it's going to be a crazy blemish on his managerial career though. No Champions League with Bayern or City. 100%. Lottie here. Hope so, Stu. Or I don't have a go at me. North London derby was important. Not disputing it wasn't. Or it isn't, sorry. I know there's a massive game. Obviously, Arsenal ladies had a massive win in the North London derby. And the title's going all the way down to the last game of the season. So, yeah, come on, the Arsenal ladies. Let's hope they can get it over the line and win the league. Big Mike, yes, big up. Big weekend ahead, indeed, which is why we're here. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Thank you very much. The cheek of it. And then Lottie B, I'll promise. No problem. So, yeah, so like I said, like for whatever reason, availability and stuff, we didn't really get an opportunity to review the West Ham game. So we're not going to spend too much time on it. So I'm going to just bring up this image here because you know what? I saw this image and it just made me feel warm inside. It really, really did. And I think that's one thing, some people will look at this and say, oh, it's just an image of, the team celebrating. But I don't know about you, Bobby, but for me, this season, there has definitely been a difference in terms of the morale and the just kind of togetherness of the squad. And I think we've seen that, and it's been evident throughout the season during the tough times, and it's been there during, the good times. It's been somewhat of a roller coaster this season. But going back to the West Ham game, obviously, I don't think any of us envisioned, going into the Chelsea United and West Ham game that we would have any chance of picking up any points, let alone 9 points. But focusing on this West Ham game, this was some window. Away from home against West Ham, 2-1 victory in what, surprisingly, West Ham fielded a pretty strong side. I think most people expected them to field maybe somewhat of a weakened side. I think most of us, if we didn't expect it, we hoped it. But from their lineup, bar Antonio, I don't know too much about West Ham's, first 11, but bar Antonio, it looked like a pretty strong side, and it was a tough game. What did you make of our performance against West Ham, and obviously the fact that we held on and got what was a vital 2-1 win against the Hammers.
Well, first of all, maybe they should have rested Aaron Creswell because he's just been sent off for West Ham in this game tonight.
They're going out, innit? They're going out. Yeah,
let's hope so. I'm not one of them that's like, I want all British clubs to do well in Europe.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I don't care. But just to touch on what you were saying before, I run a Sunday team. I'm a coach. I'm a manager for my own team, and this kind of that picture there warms my heart because obviously being an Arsenal fan and seeing how disjointed the team's been over the last however many seasons. That kind of stuff. We've seen the images like this all this season, haven't we? Across the season, really. Away against, I was there away against Villa. A few different games, and it's underrated how much what a massive effect togetherness has on results and on performances. If your team's together, they like each other, they want to fight for each other, they give that little bit extra for each other when they're on the pitch. It's only going to be good. What Mikel's obviously done with the team, getting the characters that he's got rid of and the characters that he's got together, shows that we're more than just a pretty football team on the pitch. We're actually a unit of brothers. You know what I'm saying? That will go toe to toe with any team on any given day. So it's a massive thing, and I think that's what got us the 3 points against West Ham, because it wasn't one of the best performances. I think we played better against West Ham. Against Chelsea and Man United. I think that performance there was kind of a bit like the Brighton and the Southampton games, where even though in that game I didn't feel like we conceded that many chances against West Ham, we didn't create too much, and the fact that we scored off 2 set pieces kind of demonstrates that. But it's also a good sign that we can also score goals in different ways. A third of all goals are scored from set pieces. So if we're scoring more goals from corners, set pieces, then that's all the better. Even though I know that Gabriel's goal was from the second phase, but it was still, we were all up there. But this was in the box because of the set piece from before. Martinelli's ball was fantastic, and the goal was actually really good, because we kind of carved them open, and the box was really stacked, So getting those 3 points, if we get top 4, and even just the fact that we won away against West Ham, as you've already pointed out, in that run of three games, where most Arsenal fans would have probably said 6 points out of those 3 games would have been amazing. So the fact that we got 9 was fantastic, and it shows that we can win in different ways. We don't always have to play pretty football, pop people off the pitch. We can grind it out. We've ground out games this season anyway when we've thrown Holding and made it about 5. So we know that we can win that way. But Holding started this time. We started with El Nelly. Nuno Tavares wasn't the greatest. Eddie Nketiah was actually quite good. So we didn't have our strongest 11 out, but we still went to West Ham and beat them 2-1. So I was very, very, very happy with the performance and very happy with the result, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, boy. I was so gassed about this game. Like literally, I finished work at 4 and I got home in time for the kickoff. And my missus' sister had invited us around for dinner. And where she is, like, she don't have Sky TV, or like her internet's kind of mad because she lives by the coast. And I was just like, look, I'm not gonna pass up dinner, but I need to watch this game first. So whatever happens, like either you go before me, I'll meet you, or we go after the game. So I watched it. It was amazing. Obviously, like it was one of those things where it was just like with Arsenal, you just never know what you're gonna get. But at the end of the day, I kind of put all that out of my mind now, because we're in the money end of the season, as I always say, and I think the most important thing is results. At the end of the day, if we go on and get 4 games left, we get 8 points, 9 points, 12 points, whatever it is, and we qualify for the Champions League and get top 4, or if it doesn't go to the fans' plan and we get Europa League, at the end of the day, we're not really going to look too much back on these results and kind of remember them really and truly. We're just gonna either be jubilant or disappointed in terms of obviously how the season's unfolded. But yeah, I was thrilled. This was one game that I really got excited about in terms of the results. So much so, boy, I had one hell of a night out on that Sunday because I didn't have work on a Monday. You must have seen my tweets on Twitter. Yeah, man, I had a good night out. But yeah, man, it was a key victory. It was a key victory. It was very important to back up the results and performances we had against Chelsea and obviously Manchester United. And I think it was nice that, Robbo, got on the score sheet. Gabriel got on the score sheet. Two players for different reasons have been, quite heavily criticized, during the season at different points for different reasons. So I kind of like the fact that happened. Also, the fact that obviously we went into the lead and then they pegged us back at half time. And obviously, as most Arsenal fans, we kind of sink into this abyss of we're not going to get anything from the game. But I think we dug deep. I think we got the goal to take us in the lead. And I feel like we really kind of, like you say, we churned out that result because it was a tough game. And there was none of this, rested players. There was none of this, you're going to get a West Ham half-hearted performance. They went for it, that even so much so, with such a key match like tonight, they actually brought Antonio to try and get something from the game. So it was a well-earned and well-deserved victory, in my opinion. And it really does, set us up nicely for the running in terms of the last 4 games of the season, which we'll get onto in a couple of minutes. I'm going to head to the comments because quite a few have come in. Sorry, guys, got to go. Urgent issues for work. We'll catch up later. No problem. Thank you for tuning in, Stu. Have a good one. Have a good one, guys. No problem. We've got Keith. Yes, Keith is back. Hi, fellas. I'm back tonight. Welcome. Good to have you back. And we've got one of our own here, Lee Meadows. It was great to see that we could get a result when we wasn't at our best. 100% echoes everything what Bobby just said in terms of churning out and getting wins and points, when we're not necessarily playing the best football we've ever played. But yeah, before we get on to the Leeds, obviously Arsenal versus Leeds preview, which is match taking place this Sunday at home, which is a massive game. We're going to touch upon some transfers. And for those of you who don't know, who are new to the show, when the season is over, we will be bringing back our transfer rumor mill, which will be a Monday night show weekly that will be covering all the transfer rumors between the end of the season and the beginning of the next season. So the first player we're going to focus on tonight, and I know your knowledge of football, Bobby, is absolutely fantastic. But nevertheless, I still ping the name over just in case you needed to brush up on who this guy was. But we've been linked with this player, Moussa Diaby. And you know what? This is a player that, he kind of broke on the scene like a couple of years ago, or maybe he never broke on the scene a couple of years ago, but there was a lot of hype about him. I remember like a few seasons ago, there was a lot of hype about this player. And people were talking about him, what he's going to go on to do, what he's doing, etc., etc. And the hype kind of died down. So I was a little bit surprised when this name popped up. I did have to kind of go away and take a little bit of a closer look at what he's been doing this season because I wasn't really aware of the kind of season he was having. But obviously, for those of you who don't know who Moussa Diaby is, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's fairly young. I think 21, 22 in terms of his age. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen. This season, he's played in 38 games and he's had 29 goal contributions. So that includes goals and assists across 38 games. Predominantly can play on the right wing, on the left wing. And from what I know of him, he's a really exciting winger. Now, what are your thoughts about, Moussa Diaby? Obviously we've got the situation, with Saka on the right, who's pretty much cemented his place as our right winger. We've also got the elephant in the room in terms of like Pepe. I mean, in terms of what are we going to do with him? What does his future hold? Will he be at Arsenal next season? Will we ship him out and transfer him out the club? Which probably what most fans want. But is Moussa Diaby the type of player that obviously you want to see come to Arsenal? And yeah, just tell me what you know about him.
Well, yeah, definitely he's the type of player that we want to be signing. He's actually from the PSG factory. He's young, he's French. He was at PSG. Obviously, couldn't make it there because they're going on and signing all the best players in the world. They like a lot of players like Nkunku, like a few of them will leave, but no, because they can't up a Carmo. That they can't get. They're not going to play there. So, but yeah, one thing about Moussa Diaby is what I like about him is that when he first broke into the Leverkusen team, he was just all legs. He was just all pace. He was frightening because he was so fast. But his end product was poor. He was, he would always run the ball out of play, run into dead ends. His deliveries weren't the greatest. His finishing weren't the greatest. And I think he's been there 2 seasons. He's just got better and better. I'll be honest, I don't watch him loads, but what I do watch is a Bundesliga review show, which I have recorded. So that I watch that every week. It comes on every Tuesday, I think, because sometimes Bundesliga have a Monday fixture. They have it every Tuesday. They have it on every Tuesday. So, and this what I've noticed is this season is every other week he's been scoring because I've been looking at it for Schick because I actually like Patrick Schick from when he was at the Euros. So. And we've been linked with him as well. So I've been watching Leverkusen a bit to see, but Schick hasn't even actually been playing. He's been injured quite a bit. But this boy's been kind of like their main guy now. He scores and creates. So he's stepped up. But the only thing that I do worry about is the fact that he stepped up in Germany. Sancho's numbers in Germany were great. But the one thing I do notice is that when I watch him, he does look technically good. He's technically gifted. His first touch is good. He plays with his head up. He's not just about his pace anymore. So he's got a bit about him. I don't like this. I don't like the price tag. And then also, is he going to be?
What have you heard in terms of price tag?
Well, it's like 70 million, isn't it? Something like that. So I'm not sure like what his contractual situation is or if he'd be worth that. But they're probably seeing what Sancho was worth and numbers and saying that he's going to be
Manchester clubs, isn't it? Inflating the market.
Yeah, he's going to be around about the same. So, but as I've said, we're Arsenal. We're getting a lot of we're doing a lot of rebuilding. So we're going to be linked with pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, every other player in the world.
Different player every week. It was the Colombian kid the other week from
then it was Paul,
kid from PSV. Every week. Darwin Núñez, Isaac. Isaac's car was driving through London a few weeks back. It's every week we're going to be linked with someone else. Bottom line is we ain't got a clue who we're going to sign out.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is exciting times because we know that we're definitely going to add. And if we get into the Champions League, added to the fact that we're Arsenal, and we're a massive club with big history and big heritage, and top players will want to join us no matter what European competition we're in. It's going to be exciting times because we're gonna add some quality.
It is.
Buckle in, man. Let's go.
Definitely, 100%, 100%. Thank you for that. Keith here saying set piece coach is doing an amazing job. I actually did see that. I saw quite a few of the big accounts putting out some plaudits for the set piece coach. So yeah, no, it's true. Big Mike's Moussa Diaby can play either wing and up top, lightning quick. You know what? I personally thank you for that, Big Mike's. I've not in the highlights and the games I've watched, I've not seen him play up top. My only reservation, and I don't know. It's not really a reservation, but when I was looking him up, like obviously kind of pre-show and since the links, he's not tall. I think he's like 5'7", 5'8". And I'm just thinking like, do you obviously, based on what you've seen of him and based on his stature, do you think he's got the attributes? And I know it's difficult because he's played in the Bundesliga, etc. But do you think he's got the physical attributes to transition from the Bundesliga to the Premier League?
Yeah, he's definitely got that because he's quite a stocky build.
Stocky,
yeah, and I don't know. I think sometimes now the emphasis on size. Do you remember a few years back when Barcelona came with all Xavi and Iniesta and all the little players.
Yeah.
And then it kind of changed a little bit because Mourinho went with all big players.
Yeah.
And Mancini did with all Yaya.
It kind of goes around full circle,
It goes in circles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And at the minute, if you look what's going on, it's all little players again.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
So, and when you look at what Eddie Nketiah has done in the last 3 games against 3 good teams and we've won, is size going to be the most important thing in our system? Maybe fluid movement is now going to be more important. You know, look at Liverpool's front 3.
Yeah.
You know, apart from Real Madrid, who have got probably the best number 9 in the world, and Bayern Munich, not many other teams are playing a big number 9, are they?
Very true. Very true.
Playing, even I'm watching West Ham now. Antonio was a winger. He started off his whole career as a winger. He was never forward. So, I mean, even though I know he's the big guy now, but it's still it's the game now is more about movement, and if you've got legs, you're going to be a lot more successful. And I could see us signing a player that can play, as Big Mike's pointed out there, can play either wing or can play up top, and can do it quite easily because if you're in the Champions in the Europa semi-final, he played Emil Smith Rowe in the false 9.
Yeah.
So he's played Martinelli there. He's played Eddie left wing. He's played him right wing. He's played him up front. He's played Saka both sides. So he's going to want players that are fluid and can play all 3, isn't it? So
no, definitely. Thank you for that. And thank you for that, Big Max. Really good point. We've got here Keith, not for the money they are asking, and Bobby's kind of already covered that in terms of the fee. To be honest, I've seen a lot of rumors, but I've not really seen much about the fee. But if, like you said, obviously Sancho went for, I think, somewhere between 80 and 100. So the numbers Moussa Diaby's got this season, there's no reason why Leverkusen, if he is under, considerable contract in terms of years, there's no reason why they won't and can't demand that kind of fee. I don't think a lot of Arsenal fans will be massively popular opinion in terms of if we put that kind of money up top, but I guess we've got to leave it to the decision makers in the summer. Big Mike's here. He fits the mold of a Gabriel Jesus in terms of profile of player. It seems we're looking for that type. Definitely. They all seem to have that similarity. Arsenal Analyze, that's Jake. Evening, lads. Hope everyone is well. Great show as always. Smash the like button, people. Thank you so much for that, Jake. Right, next player that we're going to be covering somewhat came as a surprise. It's funny, like you say, obviously, the stature of a club that Arsenal are, and obviously the season that we're having. At the end of the day, between now and the end of the season, wherever we finish, we're going to be playing European football next year. Which I think, is welcomed considering the fact that we weren't in Europe, this year, haven't been in the Champions League for 5-6 seasons now. So when you look at the squad and obviously you see the gaps, you see the injuries, you see the wage bill being, massively decreased. You see the amount of players we've got on loan that, are probably not going to have futures at Arsenal. You even look at the current squad and how many of them are coming, out of contract in terms of this summer. So it's inevitable that we're going to be linked with every single player there is out there in the market for whatever reason. This Aaron Hickey, again, I've got to be completely honest and transparent, and a clue he was. But at the same time, the links with him kind of make sense. And the reason why I say that is because obviously you look at our left back situation. You've got Kieran Tierney, who is, for me, by far our best left back, quality player, but there are concerns there in terms of his injury record. He's been injured now 2 seasons in a row at almost the exact same point, coming into the money end of the season, when really and truly you really don't need your top key players to get injured, considering obviously the lack of squad depth that we have. So I think all of us have our concerns about Kieran Tierney in terms of him being able to stay fit for Arsenal. Tavares obviously was bought from Benfica. He's had somewhat of a roller coaster season. There have been times when he's looked amazing, notably when he first joined, and there's been, I'd probably say more occasions when he's looked really suspect, particularly defending. And even when he's in the other half of the pitch, in an offensive, type play, he seems to lack a footballing brain or have the ability to make the right decision at the right time. Sometimes holds onto the ball too long. Sometimes doesn't make the pass when he ought to. So we've been linked with obviously, this young left back who I had to look up. Scottish kid, from what I've seen, plays for Bologna. Has been 34 games he's played at left back. He's got 5 goals, 1 assist. I looked at his kind of disciplinary record. It's not been so bad this year, but I think last year he got up to 6 yellow cards and a red. What are your thoughts generally, first of all, about the left back situation, given the situation with Kieran Tierney and his injury record, as well as Tavares? So I want your opinion on both those players, and I want your opinion on, Aaron Hickey. First of all, what do you think of Tierney and Tavares in our current squad? Do we need a left back? And is Aaron Hickey the type of left back or the player that you would bring into the club come the summer?
Well, yeah, 100%. I believe that we need a left back because Kieran Tierney, we can't rely on him staying fit. And if you look at all the top teams in Europe, they've all got 2 left backs. All of them have got 2 left backs, 2 good left backs that can come in and do as good a job as the other one. So going forward, we have to get another left back.
You're not feeling Tavares now?
One that we can rely on. I'll get onto Tavares, don't worry. Kieran Tierney, I'm a massive fan of. I actually think I actually think Kieran Tierney should be captain. But I think they need to do something with his international minutes. I think they need to limit them or something because not only that, but I think they need to limit his minutes with Arsenal. They need to do something with his regime or something because he had exactly the same injury record at Celtic. He was always injured. And if you think about his first 2 seasons at Arsenal, he was always injured then as well. So that's why he signed, because he's actually signed another contract, hasn't he? And he signed another contract for I think something like £12,000 more than what he was on originally. So he's not really signed for any more money. He just wants to stay at Arsenal, which is a good thing. But I don't think long term he's going to play 50, 60 games a season like Robertson will. So to have a good young left back up and coming in this kid Aaron Hickey, which I'm the same as you, I know absolutely nothing about. The first time I saw the link was in our Arsenal chat the other day.
Someone shared it, for real.
I had to Google it, but at 19, playing as many games as he had in a top division, I know that you won't find many 19-year-olds in world football playing 34 games in the season.
100%.
So the fact that he's starting games, and I looked, he doesn't get subbed in many. 5 yellow cards and 1 red. That means he's an animal. That means he can get stuck in. That means he's not scared. And the links are coming from reputable people as well. So
he can fast,
Italy's got no money. We've got money. They would have took him from Heart and Midlothian for pennies. So they can turn that around quick and get some money. That'll definitely happen. Nuno Tavares, let's get onto him. For me, I think I've touched on him before on this with you. I saw his debut at West Brom. Obviously, I'm Brummy, so any time Arsenal are in the Midlands, we always go and watch. And I saw his debut. We beat him 7-0, and he was the worst player on the pitch. West Brom actually had a couple of kids because my son was at West Brom. West Brom actually had a couple of kids that used to play with my son that were much better than him. There's a kid called Taylor Gardner Hitman that was fantastic on the night. I'd much rather him than Nuno Tavares. Nuno Tavares has just got legs. He's got no football brain. And I think what maybe could happen with him, same as what I saw in Saliba, maybe he needs a loan for a year or 2 to go and play football, to get a lot of minutes, to get some rhythm, to make some mistakes, to learn the game. Because for me, I can't see a player there at all. I don't think a loan will make him any better. I think we need to sell him. I think we need to move on. And the fact that we're looking at another left back says to me that they think the same. They think the same as well. They've seen enough. Because I don't know. Sometimes you don't judge a player when they're at their best. You judge a player when they're at their worst. And at his worst, he's absolutely shocking. He's so far off the level that we require at Arsenal that I don't think he's got a future with us personally.
Mm.
And that's not me being horrible or anything. That's just me.
Yeah, no, it's real, isn't it? It's real.
That's just me judging him on what I see. I actually think exactly the same about Saliba. I don't think Saliba's got a long-term career at Arsenal. I don't think he's good enough. Even when I'm watching him now at Marseille, I see things that he may be, he could be a bench player for us and come in and do a job every now and again. But I think what will end up happening is he'll end up doing what Nuno Tavares has done and embarrassing himself because there's levels to this. You know, there's levels to the Premier League and there's levels to football players as well. You know, certain players' levels are certainly higher than others. You know, so yeah, for me, the boy Hickey, I've seen him on the YouTube. He looks fantastic, attacking, one-on-one defending, heading. I see him doing a lot of this as well. So he's 19 and he's already pointing at people where to go. Little shoulder barges off the ball as well, which I like. Yeah,
that's what we want. That's what we want.
And this is a Scottish boy who's left Scotland at 19 and gone to Italy.
Yeah, a lot has to be said about that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the cultures are quite. I wouldn't say they're quite similar, but it does happen quite a bit. Scotland, so there has been that transition has happened quite a lot. So he's probably settled quite well. But to be playing 30-odd games a season at that age, I've looked on his thing as well. He played left wing back the last game. They drew 0-0 against I think it was Juventus, and then. He played. I think he played the two games before that. He scored and got the assist. So, you know, he's obviously worth his weight. So yeah, if the links are true, yeah, man, bring him in, man. Let's get him involved. He could actually battle Kieran Tierney for.
I was going to say that. Like, I think, you know what I mean. I think like if we're targeting a left back, I think it pretty much kind of tells you what you need to know in terms of the Tavares situation. It's going to be an interesting one because obviously where we bought him for, I know it wasn't a huge fee, but I very much doubt we would get anything similar to what we paid for him. So it probably would be best to kind of maybe, you know, put him out on loan and kind of see if, you know, he can either improve or if we can kind of increase the value on him. But yeah, I think if the links are true and there's some concrete links out there, I think it pretty much says everything about their concerns over Tierney, but also their concerns over Tavares in terms of coming into this side. Interestingly, like your comments about Saliba, we're not going to go into that too much detail, but we will be doing a squad review at the end of this season, looking ahead towards next season and obviously the upcoming transfer window. And that will be great because obviously we're all going to be able to have our say as Cannon Chatter members in terms of like players to keep, players to sell, and so forth. So yeah, we'll touch upon that in future shows. We'll go back to the comments because they are firing in. Keith here saying, I see 83 million, no way. And I think that's to do with the Musa Diaby links, I believe. Big Mike's Nkunku, has just scored a quality goal for Leipzig. He would be gold for us. He's definitely one of the players that I think is massively sought after in the summer. It'll be interesting to see where he actually goes. Jake again here, love Hickey, can play with both feet, good back option to KT and Tommy for cover and rotation. 19 years of age, fantastic potential, and apparently available for 20 million. And yeah, that was one thing I was going to touch upon. What I've seen is kind of a estimate or quote between kind of 18 to 21, 22 million. But yeah, in this market, for a player that age, that potential, and as you said, Bobby, playing that many games in Serie A, at that age is, you know, it's a snip. Keith agreeing with Big Mike's about Nkunku. Keith again saying this fella can play right or left back. Ideal. Keith echoing everything you said. In the most simplest terms, Tavares is crap. Big Mike's here. Hickey is a right-footed left back who could equally play at right back. Seems like it's quite unanimous. Most of you that are tuned in would welcome, obviously, the links and a potential transfer of Hickey. If we get Hickey, send Tavares on loan to a club where he will play every week. Hopefully, he can iron out some of his flaws. And Keith agreeing here with Bobby saying, Bobby, you're spot on. Robert here, good stuff, lads. Got a head off, no problem. Thank you for tuning in. Your passing comments or last comments, I should say. United wants Nkunku. Cool links with Ralph. Good links, you're saying. No problem. So, right, that kind of brings us to an end of the transfer rumors. I think last week when we did this show, Bobby, we had about 6 or 7 players that we were linked with. So, somewhat, when it comes to Arsenal, it's been somewhat of a quiet week in terms of transfer links. Obviously, I know it's not always going to be like that, but those were the 2 main players that I could see where they were kind of real, kind of concrete or consistent links. Bless you.
Sorry.
No problem. Bless you, my bro. But yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to move over swiftly onto obviously the game at the weekend. It feels like what I say, Groundhog Day, deja vu, but every single game between now and the end of the season is a massive game. Every single game is a cup final, and a huge amount depends on obviously the results. Now, obviously, we're not going to speak too much about Spurs, but I don't think any Arsenal fan would honestly admit that, you know, the Spurs fixtures between now and obviously the end of the season isn't slightly at the back of their minds. I for one, be completely honest, I look at their results. It's not something I've always done throughout the season, but now it's the money and, you know, money time, money end of the season. I'm going to be definitely looking closely at their game against Liverpool to see what that holds. And I'm expecting nothing more than a Liverpool win, convincing win. So the Scousers better represent. Trust me, the Scousers better represent because I'm looking for that goal difference to come slightly down as well. So yeah, I'm hoping Liverpool can absolutely slap them. But yeah, we've got Leeds in. On paper, this is our problem. On paper, should be a pretty straightforward win. And the reason why I say that, Leeds have had an absolutely disastrous season. They're not the team they were last season. They've been absolutely decimated by injuries. And I was on Albert JTV earlier, so big up Albert and Albert JTV. If you don't subscribe to his channel, get over there and subscribe. He does some brilliant content. But we were previewing the Leeds game as well. And he told me that, you know, they've conceded the most goals in the Premier League or close to being the most goals in the Premier League. I think it was 70 plus goals they've conceded, more than the likes of the teams that have already been relegated in this league. So when you look at, obviously, I know you can't look at just our last 3 games because you have to look at the entire season and how we've performed against different types of teams. And it seems as though we do very much well in teams that come at us, where it can be somewhat open. If you look at our results against Chelsea, Man United, even Spurs, and we slapped them 3-1 earlier in the season. And it looks like when we come against a team that, you know, defends well, you know, men behind the ball, and it's on us, the onus is on us to break them down, you know, we struggle. Now, you can't imagine Leeds are going to come at us, given their situation. So defensively, they're obviously going to try and keep things tight. Now, can they really keep things tight? Because obviously they've conceded 70-odd goals. So that's something to think about. But before I get your thoughts on, obviously, you know, the match itself and how you think it's going to go, this is the team that I've picked. I'm not sure if you can see it. Do I need to zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's good.
Cool. So for those of you who are listening and not watching or can't see this graphic, I've gone with Ramsdale in goal. I've gone with a back 4 of Tomiyasu at right back. White, given the fact that I'm presuming he might be fit or should be fit for this game. Gabriel, left centre back, and Tavares at left back. I've gone with a midfield 3 or pivot of 2, whatever you want to call it, of El Neni and Xhaka. With obviously Odegaard playing in the kind of advanced number 10 role, attacking midfielder. And I've gone with a front 3 of Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Nketiah resuming his place in the middle of that 3. So just give me your thoughts on obviously the lineup and you know what your thoughts are on the lineup, and would you change it in any way, shape, or form, obviously ahead of the home game against Leeds on Sunday?
Well, first of all, touching on what you were saying about being on Albert's show and about Leeds conceding the most goals in the Premier League. I mean, that's kind of irrelevant now, because the reason why they sacked Bielsa was because they'd conceded so many goals. And since this new guy, this Walsh guy's come in, they're a lot more solid now. They don't play the same way and they don't concede as many goals. And they're actually, I think they've only lost 1 in their last 5, and that was against Man City. They beat Wolves. Was it Wolves away? I'm sure they beat Wolves away.
I'm not too sure.
They beat Wolves away. They scored 3 goals. Yeah, I watched that game because one of my friends that works at Wolves, a Wolves fan.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat Wolves away. So this is a different team to the team that was conceding the most goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And as you said, as you pointed out, they conceded the most goals in the Premier League, but they're still not close to being relegated. So
This is it.
they still know how to win football matches.
Yeah.
But one other thing about Leeds for me at the moment is that Scott Dallas is out. He's out. I think he's out for the season. I'm not sure if he's out for the season, but I think he's out for the season. And he's like their warhorse. He plays every single position on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive miss for them because he kind of sets their tone. But us against Leeds, I don't think Leeds have beat us since they've been in the Premier League, since they've come back. And history says that we always beat Leeds, just like against West Ham as well. Going away to West Ham, I wasn't really worried because normally we always win away at West Ham.
Yeah.
From the Wenger era days, we always used to win away at West Ham, no matter what. No matter how we were as a club, we always go to West Ham and win, and we always normally beat Leeds as well. So this fixture doesn't really worry me about not getting 3 points.
Okay.
So I'll go with you with the lineup. I think the only worry is Tommy Asu didn't finish the last game, did he? I don't know. And I haven't seen him in the training pictures this week, so I don't know. I don't know whether he's going to be fit.
Okay.
But yeah, the rest of the team, yeah, I'd definitely go with. White needs to come back in just because I think that White and Gabriel need to cement that back for partnership. But yeah, if Tavares isn't fit, I'd be more than happy to bring Cedric in. He's done a good enough job over the season so far. But I think us being at home and the way that we play going forward when we are at home, I think that we'll be okay. I think that we'll have enough to beat Leeds because Leeds aren't very strong at the back, even though they can attack. They're not very strong at the back, so their only attacking threat as well is Jack Harrison and Rafinha.
They've massively missed Bamford this season, ain't they?
They've missed Bamford massively. Yeah, they played the boy Gerhard and the kid that we released to them. I can't remember his name. The boy that we bought from Sunderland. He's actually been getting minutes. So yeah, I'm not. So the game against it should be a home banker, 3 points. Yeah, I did actually have tickets to the game, but I'm double booked. I've got to go to.
You said
a go-karting event, so we must.
Yeah,
I can't go.
No problem. But you're feeling confident, though, yeah?
Yeah, feeling confident, man. We get the 3 points.
Sweet. We'll go to the comments before we get score predictions. Keith here saying, want the fella from Napoli. Which one? Let us know, Keith. Scousers will beat Spuds 100%. Like I said, listen, I tell you, I've got a couple of Liverpool fans who are my mates, and I tell you, if they don't get a result against Spurs, it'd just be beyond me. Big Mike's here. Big up former Arsenal player Van Bronckhorst, who has just taken Rangers to the Europa League final. Massive. Absolutely massive. Lee Meadows here. I'm picking Cedric at right back. Want to be careful with Tommy. And that kind of echoes what Bobby was saying. My only thing I know he's not really been pictured in the training pics, which probably is a good indication that he's not going to be ready. But I always thought when I was watching that game and I saw him not come off injured, but I saw him didn't finish the game, I thought he'd be straight down the tunnel, etc. But from what I saw, he was just kind of chilling on a bench, no real treatment. So I kind of thought, well, maybe it was just a precaution. So time will tell. Time will tell whether or not he starts, obviously, against Leeds at the weekend. Big Mike's here. I'd agree with that lineup, although it's touch and go whether Smith Rowe starts for me. 100% agree. We've had this conversation multiple times on Kind of Chatter TV. It's kind of is what it is when it comes to the whole Smith Rowe and Martinelli in terms of who plays and who doesn't. I'd be happy either way, whoever starts, whoever's benched. I think, both of them are at that point where even if one is benched, they can come off the bench and have an impact on the game. So either or, I'm pretty happy. Big Mike's Leeds have a few injuries defensively, which is what Bobby touched upon. Keith saying, I think White still injured. Okay, that's another thing as well. I wasn't really sure because I haven't heard much about White. So I think obviously if White's injured, then Holding will just come in, like for like in terms of that. Big Mike's Greenwood.
Yeah, that was him.
That's a player
for Arsenal that we Leeds he's been getting minutes recently.
No problem.
They got no forwards, have they?
Yeah. And Keith here saying, "Oh, is it Osherman? I think you're talking about
But that's
I think you're talking about the Nigerian striker that plays for them.
He's put I want the fella from Napoli in it.
Yeah, it must be him. Thank you, Keith, for getting back to us. So pretty much sums up the show. Obviously for the preview to the Leeds United game at the weekend. I'm gonna come to you, obviously, Bobby, with score predictions. So you sound optimistic. You're sounding positive. 3-point banker. Obviously hoping Liverpool do the Spuds, and then we go into obviously the North London derby with a 5-point cushion, which would be amazing, considering where we were 3 games ago. So yeah, score predictions from you.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it actually after I just was really confident and said, yeah, we're gonna win.
You know them ones, isn't it? That's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you again. What are you saying? What are you telling me?
My predictions have been awful this season.
Yeah,
so
Trev, trust me.
I've just
terrible.
had a touch of the nerves, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too cocky. I want to reverse psychology it now. You know what I mean? Because if I say something bad, then anything better is a bonus. So I'm gonna go a sneaky 1-0. We're gonna score early.
Yeah.
Someone unfashionable is going to score, like Al Neni or Chaka or Eddie.
Yeah.
We're going to miss loads of chances. Leeds are going to make loads of chances, and it's going to be one of those ones where we're like biting our fingernails.
Yeah.
I'm going 1-0 Arsenal.
1-0 Arsenal. Right. For me, and obviously before I give you my score prediction, please do. Those of you who tuned in, thank you so much for staying with us, obviously, for the whole hour. Please do put your score predictions into the comments. I'm going to go our charity bet this week. I'm going to choose it straight off the back, and it's going to be Big Mike's, who came in with a 2-0, the first one to come in. So, Stephen, if you're watching, please do let me know what the odds are for a 2-0 win to Arsenal, because that will be our charity bet. And those of you who don't know, the reason why we do this charity bet is because we like to give back to, obviously, charities in the community. This season, our chosen charity is the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance. It's a charity that's close to the heart of Stephen, whose friend's life basically was saved due to the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance. Believe it or not, it's a charitable organization, completely self-funded, and I think it costs on average about £2 million a year for them to kind of keep afloat and do what they do, which is save people's lives. So that's our charity organization for this season. Next season we'll have another one. So every single week we place a £1 bet on a particular scoreline, to keep things interesting, hopefully get some money we can put in the bucket for the end of the season and donate to the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance. So we're going to go with Big Mike's prediction. So before I head over to the comments,
Big Mike's.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm feeling confident, and I understand where you're coming from in terms of being overconfident, and I don't want to jinx it, but I'm just thinking this is going to be a convincing win. So I just got to keep it real in it. I'm going to go. I was on Albert J TV earlier, and I said 4-0 Arsenal, and I'm going to go 4-0 Arsenal. Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I'm looking at the Chelsea United game, the West Ham game. Don't get me wrong. Defensively, we've not been the greatest over the last 6 games. To be fair, at times we've been poor. At times we've looked solid, bit inconsistent at the back. But I think we'll keep a clean sheet, and I think we'll get an early goal, and I think being at home, I think the floodgates will open. So I'm going 4-0. So yeah, I really hope I don't live to regret that score prediction. But yeah, Big Mike's. I'll say 2-0 to the Arsenal. And like I said, that was the first one that came in. So that's going to be this week's charity bet, and we'll find out what the odds and the returns are for that for our charity bet this week. So thank you, Big Mike's. Lee Meadows, I'm going to go for a comfortable 4-0 win. Okay, similar to me. We're going in big. We're going in confident. Albert JTV, big up Albert JTV. I was on his show earlier. Absolute amazing guy. Great content. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as he says, please do smash the likes, people. And for whatever reason, if you're not subscribing to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Cannon Chatter TV, I believe that's Stephen himself. 2-0 Arsenal. But if Spurs beat Paul, I think we might lose. Okay, interesting take there. Keith saying 3-0 to the Arsenal. Big Mike's clapping hands. Cheers, bro. Jamie here saying 9-1 for the 3-0 to the Arsenal. Also saying 6-1 for the 2-0. So that means Big Mike will place a pound, which means if we win and it is that scoreline, we'll get £7 return for the charity bet to go to the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance. Albert JTV, massive shout out to you, G Talks, for coming on the show. 3-1 to the Arsenal. Leeds have conceded 72 goals this season. Hashtag home win. Confidence there. And Cannon Chatter TV is saying 13-2. So yeah, I don't know. 13-2. I saw a 6-1. Let me know which one it is. Big Mike's, we need to turn around this goal difference as well. Hopefully Liverpool pam Spurs. That's something I said. That's what I mean. I want them to slap Spurs because their goal difference is actually significantly higher than us. So hopefully that can happen. And Stephen coming in with saying, in terms of the odds that he's seen, it will mean £7.50 back, which hopefully will go to our charitable bet this week. And that pretty much sums it up in terms of tonight's show. Any last thoughts, Bobby?
No, yeah, because we've had a good chat and we've covered everything. So
yeah, man,
I feel replenished.
Yeah.
My Arsenal things off my chest, and
yeah,
I'm looking forward to, because I mean this period. Obviously, when you get to my age, I've been through a lot of these periods. This is my birthday as well, or at the end of April. So
yeah.
My birthday is an exciting time because you always come into the semi-finals and finals and the running in the leagues, and it's the top end of the season, isn't it? So yeah, man, every week's a good game. I mean, I've been sort of a little bit preoccupied tonight because I've had the Rangers game on my telly, and I've had the West Ham game on my tablet. So I've been watching them both, like, and there's been and the Rangers have been doing well. So I've been wanting to like say, I saw the Cuckoo goal, and it's a good night of football, man. I can't miss a game at the minute.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
And I'm going to be watching Bologna. Bologna have got a game on Sunday against Venezia. So I'm going to be watching this Hiki. I've never seen him play, man. So I want to look forward to seeing him play. But yeah, man, it's a game after game after game after game, isn't it? Yeah. My Sunday team, I got a cup final next Sunday.
Oh, good luck to that, man.
Yeah, I've got tickets for the Newcastle game, so I'm going to be going to that as well. So yeah, man, it's just exciting. It's just an exciting few weeks, isn't it? So yeah, man, it's all good, man, all good.
Definitely. Last comment to go up here. We've got Keith here saying, great show, guys. Well done. Come on, you Gunners. And yeah, that pretty much sums up tonight's show. Like I said, thank you for everybody that's tuned in. It's always an absolute pleasure to have so many of you, obviously, tune into the stream. Obviously, like the video if you haven't already. If you're not subscribing to the channel, please do subscribe. And just a massive thank you, as always, just for all your support. We did recently hit a couple of milestones. We hit 11K on the Twitter page, and we hit 500 subscribers on the channel. So growing from strength to strength. And to be honest, we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much. And yeah, until next time, obviously, come on, you Gunners. Let's get the 3 points. But yeah, keep chatting.